So as the High King Valor sits on the bare throne in the woods, he contemplates the division of power among the kingdom. Due to the rapid growth that his father, the High King Aegon, experienced, there was titles that needed to be managed and things that needed to be done. However, the time has come to provide more organizational structure to the Kingdom of the Woods and to provide a truly new and unique kingdom. And so today, the High King sits and with his council, with the help of his council, will begin to divide the borders and create not a new, but a new look to the Kingdom of the Woods. What's up, Bear Pack? Welcome back to another episode here in the Kingdom of the Woods. I'm excited to bring you this episode today because we have a lot that we have to get done. And I think it's important that we all take a look and just a brief moment to appreciate what we have built here. You can see the glowing borders of the Kingdom of the Woods, and I'm excited that there's just something about this that just makes it so unique and cool. And I think the biggest factor in all of it is the customization. And so today we begin to explore the further customization that we have. And I like I said, I'm excited to bring you this episode. We're going to do some new divisions. We're going to do some new things, rename some places, and see some new faces. And so, with all that said, I want it to be known that I'm not going to make you sit through all the boring stuff. Instead, what we're going to have is we're going to have a nice time lapse of all the changes that are taking place, and then I will go about and I'll kind of just briefly explain what you saw, and that way you're able to just kind of enjoy a little bit of music and then see the results of what is hopefully not a terribly long amount of time of work, but if it is, it's worth it for you. So with all that said, let's jump into this time lapse. Let's get it going. I'm excited. Here is the journey to the new look for the Kingdom of the Woods. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. I know I enjoyed making it. It's actually fun whenever I can work for a reason, you know what I mean? Whenever we have to do all that rearranging and shuffling around, if I can produce some content in addition to just, doing some administrative stuff, that's always nice. So you may notice a few changes, and these are still kind of not really up in the air, but there's still some potential for change going forward. I'm not exactly sure where I fall on some of this stuff, but I digress. So we have changed the Kingdom of the Northwood, or of Blackwood, to Northwood, being that it's in the northern part of the kingdom, and it extends down. This is part of the original Kingdom of the Woods, and so the reason for naming these as such is because the Kingdom of the Woods being the original portion right here. So the north part right here is formerly known as Blackwood, and then you have the Kingdom of the Woods, which has expanded here in the center. I'll get to that in just a second. And we have Southwood, which was formerly the Dusklands, which extends down here. I was going to round out the border, but the same guy owns these 3 counties, and I didn't want to revoke 3 counties from one, or 2 counties from one guy. And so we'll see if those end up changing going forward. The Stormlands is still the same. Their territory has expanded a little bit just to give them a little bit more power, and that has actually really vastly improved the opinion of Lord Paramount Gorgon. I don't think we'll keep him down in the Stormlands, but for now, I'm okay with him being there. So we still need to incorporate this High Lordship, but like I said, it's down in here that owns it. The Rock has pretty much stayed the same. They're actually at war to incorporate Red Lake into their territory, so I mean that's cool if they can win it. If they need help, we'll certainly provide them with whatever help we can. We also have the Bear's Claw right here, which was formerly the Bay of Claws, but yeah, the Bear's Claw right here coming out, and then I've changed the name of the Vale to the Mountain. I'm not sure how much I like that, but I'm more than welcome, any kind of suggestion. There's also a suggestion to change the woods to the Den, which I'm on board with, but I kind of had that thought about the original Kingdom of the Woods, Northwood, Southwood, and then the Woods kind of here in the center. It is kind of confusing when the top tier Empire title is also called the Woods. So, I'll leave that up to you guys. If you would like, leave a comment down below what you think, and I'll be sure to incorporate whatever elements I can of that into here. We also have some shuffle in some of our characters, being that the custom characters that were incorporated before are now kind of incorporating a new generation, and we have some more custom characters coming in that have kind of been in the works for a little while. I've kind of taken it to the next level. So we've awarded Lord Edric Weirwood the High Lordships over here, and have incorporated that into the Kingdom of the Woods. And so he is no longer just a commander in Bear Hall. As a reward for his loyal service to the throne, and also his prowess in the melee, in the previous episode, he has or the 2 episodes ago, he has earned himself the award for a High Lordship. And technically this is 2 High Lordships, but we're incorporating it into 1. So there he is, and good luck for him. He actually is doing quite well with himself. Has 2 sons, Emmon, and also Emmon needs a marriage, that's for sure. And then he also has Hostine, who has lived to the age of 3, is still sickly, but has lived to the age of 3. So hopefully that his child doesn't die there. It shouldn't. Typically if you can make it to about 1 or 2 as a sickly child, you're fine, but you never know, I suppose, with this game. We have also given a High Lordship to Lord Moose Roosmont, who has been down here just chilling. In order to kind of award him a High Lordship, we had to do a little bit of shuffling. So we have awarded to one of our courtiers, Lord Elmar Ardor, we've awarded him the Lordship of Chattering Brook down here. And without spoiling anything, I'm going to leave it at that. But he is now currently right here, down here near where the Blackwater comes in through King's Landing and then forks originally down here. So he has that lordship now under the High Lordship of Lord Moose. As a result, we had to move Lord Ryger Roman to a new location, and so we have given him the lordship and the High Lordship of Blackwater Bay. Currently doesn't have any vassals associated with it. He is a High Lord, so we'll have to see how he deals with getting what are his de jure vassals, which are all of these little counties right here. So we'll see how he has to go about getting those. That'll be interesting, and that'll be a good kind of assignment for Lord Ryger. So, but we still have Lady Perienne, and eventually, because she's married to Luke Whitewood, these 2 kingdoms will kind of combine under one leadership. So we'll have to see kind of going forward what that leads to. But yeah, that is kind of where the shuffling has gone. I do have Brendan Close still in my court, and that is in order to continue to marry him without him being able to deny any of those marriage because of, differences in religion and all that kind of stuff. And the eventual plan is to get Brendan over here in the Rock somewhere as a High Lord and potentially even Lord Paramount, depending on what happens with the title through our bastard son, Prince Zachary. So all of that going in, not our bastard son anymore. I keep forgetting we're Aegon, so it's our bastard brother now is Lord Zachary, our half brother. I also did notice something very not strange, but kind of funny, that Lord Paramount Luke is actually our nephew because our sister was his mother, and we had such a long reign as King Aegon. I kind of forgot how all of these work together, so that's kind of cool. Lord Paramount Luke is the nephew of the High King Valar, so that's good. Long may they both reign. Now that we're in this, I did kind of want to take a brief moment to discuss some of the favorite memories that you guys had of the High King Aegon. And honestly, it was really cool to go through the comment section and see how much you guys enjoyed in terms of the all of the different things that we were able to do as the High King. And so I don't want it to be long-winded or anything like that. You guys did a really good job of just kind of being so kind of pouring out your love for King Aegon, and so I'm really excited to just continue as Valar now, and hopefully going forward making a decent go of being a king who is also a green seer. That was kind of the big thing for me, is I wanted a king who was who had some good ability to him, you know what I mean? And so I'm hoping we can make a good run as Valar and have a good opportunity to just kind of have some fun with some of the roleplay elements of this, but also to keep things fresh. It's always fun to play as a king for a really long time, but if you're not careful, it can turn out a little dangerous. You get into this groove, and it's tough to break out of it. So I'm hoping we can just kind of keep things fresh, keep things new with this new green seer trait, and really make something special of this run. I will say, just to kind of highlight some of the favorite memories, the burning of the trident, which led to the creation of the Empire of the Woods that you see here. That was the instigation. We had incorporated all of the lands over here, but it was the burning of the trident that really led to that. Another favorite memory was the series of events that took place with Lady Paramount Arwen, our betrothal to I can't even remember. I think it was Xavier, who was betrothed to her originally, and then her denial of that, and then subsequently Aegon inviting her to be the Master of Whispers in spite of her terrible intrigue rating, and then eventually impregnating her with the bastard son, and then legitimizing that bastard son in order to be her heir before she could even have a child with the man she chose above Prince Xavier. So if you haven't seen that series of events, be sure to go check out those other episodes because they're funny. But and it was never really my intention to do that. It just kind of worked out that way. So, like I said, I had a lot of good memories as Aegon, and I'm hoping we have just as many as Valar, and it's time to keep moving forward. We have a lot that we have to get done. Valar's separation of the new type of kingdoms is a interesting one, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say down below. It's time to move forward, though. It's time to continue on our reign as King Valar. Technically the third, I think. The third of his name. But the first High King, Valar of the Woods. So first things first, we have to sort our council back out. Because Edric Weirwood is now a High Lord in the Woods and not one of our direct vassals, he cannot be our Master of Arms anymore. So we needed a formidable fighter to come in to kind of take his place. So we have invited Leon Flowers of House Brandy House. Actually, it was like of the Brandy House or whatever. So I renamed it and I redid their sigil, which I think looks awesome, by the way. And he's going to be our new Master of Arms. He has chest pains, so hopefully that doesn't lead to anything negative, like him dying pretty much immediately. But we're going to put him in charge of this position. He's not the best suited for it, but in terms of having formidable fighter, he can hopefully. He has like almost a 25% chance to improve a child's combat prowess, and then that stacks. So hopefully he has the ability to create a formidable fighter in the line of House Bear. Also, we need another bodyguard, and I think that's a good opportunity for Brendan to just kind of have his use some of his abilities, and also to just kind of like get back to status quo, get back to what he needs to be right there in the Kingdom of the Woods. We are going to do something. I think I have a good suitor for him. There he is, since he cannot deny marriages now. And I don't, well, actually, you know what? I don't think he can have more than 2 wives. I think that's true. I think he can't. So we'll have to figure this out as we kind of go forward. We'll have to see exactly what happens. Remember, we are waiting on our wife to give birth to hopefully a son that we can then turn around and figure out what to do with Estian. But we want to do the Valyrian Steel quest again. And so in order to do that, we're going to have to give the bear pelt, our Valyrian Steel armor, to our heir or to our designated heir in order to hopefully go on that quest one more time in order to get a sword. If we're not able to have a son, we're not able to get this sorted out, I think our designated heir, or I think our heir is going to end up being Prince Xavier. He already has a son, Prince Alix, who is currently betrothed to Lady Ravella Whitewood. And so there's more alliances to be made. His lineage is secure, and we don't really have to worry about it. Estian is not so much. Estian has good qualities and good traits, but he is infertile, and his wife is 34 years old. So I don't think they're going to have any kids anytime soon. As much as he wants to, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know how to make it happen. I don't know how to push him in that direction. I was hoping he would come back from his foreign tour as lustful and just have a little bit of fertility to hopefully maybe have a shot at having kids, but I don't think it's going to happen. He currently has 0 fertility. So, yeah. What to do? If we get an opportunity to maybe snuff him out, we can make it happen. I don't know that that's going to be what Valor does. We may put him at the front lines and send him off to fight. I don't know. I don't want to have to do all those kind of things, but it it is what it is. And you got to do what you got to do as the High King in the Kingdom of the Woods. Nice. So it looks like Lady Perianne of Southwood is transferring vassals to Lord Ryger of the Blackwater Bay. So she's done Farn Cross, let's see, Dalston Keep, which I believe is right here. She's also done Hayford, which I think is here. Yeah, right here. She has done Bramsford right here, and Stokeworth. So all of this, she's done it all. So his de jure High Lordship is his High Lordship right there. Yep, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. So that's perfect. She did it without us having to instigate. I'm sure he asked, made the ask and went ahead and did that. And that's all good. So that's good to see. She's taking steps to keep her High Lords happy. And that's always nice. I think Lord Roman could potentially be a Lord Paramount one day down here in Southwood. He's already a powerful vassal of Southwood, so we'll have to see what ends up happening. But whenever we eventually have the new division, once Lady Perianne passes away and the kingdoms merge into one, I think it'll be important for us to, at least keep some division, but at that point we can define new borders kind of as they go, and he might be a great candidate to receive that kingdom title, and some more vassals for that sake. So, good looking out by Lady Perienne. Something is rotten in Bear Hall. I have suspicions about a plot, maybe an assassination or something. Horrifying unraveling in front of my unseeing eyes, and I will find out what is going on. So it seems like Sarah Bruston has a plot against the High King Valor. We'll have to see what happens with that event chain. I caught the cook and Sarah plotting against me. When I confronted them, they denied it at first, but broke down eventually and confessed they were planning to humiliate me. How they planned to do that, they refused to say. So, I forgave them, even though it was hard. Looks like Carlin Flowers, so Carlin Whitesteel, and Margadra River. So my sister had a daughter who died stillborn. Sad day. It's always sad when that happens. I did want to do something really quick, and because we haven't done it in a while, and let's take a look over here at the goings on over in the east. And Valyria is still going strong, even though there was one point where they still have the division. You have the lands of the Long Summer up here. Still a member, or still a vassal of Valyria as a whole, right here. But the Archon of Valyria is not a dragon rider. Isn't that hilarious? You would think that the Dragon Lords would not allow that. I don't know. We'll have to see going forward how that ends up for them. But they have expanded their power quite a bit. And so has Sarnor up here. The Sarnori are still growing. They butt up right against a Dothraki horde over here. And we also have a Khal, who has I think a fairly large Khalasar by the look of it. No, I'm sorry, that's not it. 750 men, that's not a big Khalasar. This guy doesn't even have a big one, even though he has quite a bit of men. Maybe it's this guy? See, even he doesn't have a lot of men. It's insane. So, it doesn't look like the Dothraki are causing any issues. Karth is over here. They're doing okay, 21,000 men that they can raise. But, you know, I think it's more of the allure of wealth in Karth that kind of gives them their illusion of power. And you also have Valyria. I wanted to look and see how many men they can raise up. Currently, he's only able to raise up 9,000, but I don't think that that's accurate entirely. I think he should be able to raise up more. I may have to look at the ledger to see who has the most powerful army. Oh, and it looks like Andalos now has their capital in Lorath, or Lorassian, over here. Interesting. They're no longer launching Andal invasions. I don't know if you realize that, but after some time they kind of go away, and they kind of give up on it, and so that's kind of what has happened in this series. They've kind of given up on it. It looks like Pentos, or Myr and Pentos are still over here. It doesn't look like they're tributaries, does it? Yeah, it does. They're a tributary. So it does look like Valyria still has some power over in Essos. Although, you know, it doesn't seem to be this crazy amount of power like you would think it would be. It's the dragons, really, that dictate everything, and currently they do have tons of dragons, so there's still not anybody to mess with, that's for sure. But they're less powerful in terms of manpower than we are. If you look at, we're able to raise up almost 139,000 men, so the strength of our army is much higher, but in terms of overall power with the potential of war, if it ever came about, I think the edge goes to them just because of all the dragons they have. We do have a dragon egg that we have the ability to hopefully dish out to somebody that we deem worthy. That honestly, it may be something we give to Aegon and hope he blows himself up. I just had that thought. That's kind of a funny thought, to be honest with you. It may work. I don't know. We'll have to see exactly. But I just wanted to check on the East and see how things were going. We haven't done that in a while, and going forward, I don't think Valyria is going to pose any problems, but they could. They certainly could. Though of somewhat dubious provenance, Lord Paramount Gorgon of the Stormlands has presented me with evidence that Lady Perianne of Southwood is plotting treason against me. How should I respond? So I think he's making it up. I do. I think he has reason to make up evidence and try to expand his power. He is not one of our original vassals, and we did conquer him. And he is an Andal. So I think I'm not going to arrest her, and I'm not going to threaten her. I think I'm just going to keep the information to myself, and hopefully we can work it out. Also, it's looking like Lady Perianne Blackheart. That's interesting. Oh yeah, that's her house name. Duh. Has been a leal and able servant, having successfully completed many tasks in aid of the woods. It would be seen as right and honorable to reward her with certain incomes and grants, so as to foster greater loyalty. So, agreed. I shall arrange a reward. We're going to give her 52 gold. That's quite the honeypot there. We do need to sort out these 2 command posts. We could just create a new vassal, but honestly, we've done such a good job of breeding up good vassals that it may be worth it to just begin to award them as we see fit. I think this guy has some kids. Marlon Nori, Ellen Nori, she's betrothed, and then we have Arnulf, who's also betrothed. So we need to betroth Marlon Nori, and let's betroth him to, let's see, let's do Amabel. That's fine. And then we're gonna name Darren Nori and give him the Castle of the Tower of Dread as his command post. So he's Commander Darren. He doesn't really have the marshal to be a commander, but he seems to be doing okay, and his kids are really good. So we'll just kind of deal with that. I think. Ooh, are they related somehow? That's icky. I'm not sure. And we also need to take a look and see. That gets them out of our court, so that frees up some room in our court. Once we get over 70 courtiers, it nerfs the fertility, so we need to do kind of a purge a little bit and see. I think it may be in our best interest to grant our good friend Brendan Clove. I think it may be in our best interest to grant a castle to him. I think that may be for the best. Hopefully he can work out some of his issues. We've given him 1 wife, and then he has 2 secondary wives plus his original one. He does have a daughter who is currently betrothed to Arnulf Nori, who is a giant. So strong and giant. Hopefully that kind of leads to something going forward. Let's see if we can hopefully cause him to have some more kids. Hopefully that ends up happening. So it looks like the High King Valar has had a daughter, and we're going to name her Amaria. And I think that's kind of going to be a name that we kind of weave into the picture a little bit more going forward with our daughters. So we now have quite a few daughters. 4, in fact. We have 4 daughters, which is not good for our wallet going forward, unless we can just continue to marry them to courtiers, which might have to be the course of action, because daughters get expensive, especially if you're dishing out dowries to marry them off. So we'll have to see. Still no son other than Prince Aegon, so we may be looking at kind of giving up altogether and going forward with presenting the bear pelt to Prince Xavier. I think we're going to wait until we're about 50 years old before we make the decision. if we can have a son by the time we're 50, it'll kind of sort things out. It also gives us a chance to we have 4 more years before we can take another focus. So we may take a focus like seduction and try to produce a bastard that we then legitimize. I don't know. We'll have to see. But Estgene can't be our heir. He can't be. He'll have an heir in House Bear. So I mean, we may play as him, and it may be fun to just kind of take its seduction focus and just, you know, go around and try to have as many kids as possible. But I don't think he's going to be the right fit. I'll have to see. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, and we'll see what we can do about Prince Estgene going forward.